Alright. So, see, theoretically, should be live. Okay. Is that addressed to me? Oh, is that's, I think that's just cat food. Anyway, I'm live right now, Joshua. Anyway, I'm live right now, Joshua. And don't need that on there. Jeez. Great opening. Just lovely. Alright, there we go. So, hey guys, if anybody's out there, as I stumble across the opening, here we go. So, somebody wants to come and, oh, hey John. Somebody wants to come join the conversation, talk about whatever. We can talk about, I don't know, something. Greetings from Columbus, Ohio, says Mike Richards. Still trying to figure out what you were going to get in trouble for. By the way, and I have not, because I have not looked at the news today, and because I don't have cable TV anyway, so I can't put on CNN or anything. How bad has it been for the good folks of Louisiana as far as this hurricane? Hopefully not too serious. Alright. So what do we need to make red thingies? We need, oh, this is where it gets complicated because we need to do like oil and crap. And let's see, so yeah, if anybody wants to come into the conversation, that's fine. The only rule is that I need to know who the heck you are, because I don't want any trolls coming on doing something stupid. And Alex says, hey, I just watched your open letter to Will Wheaton video, and I want to say our side would never stoop that low. When Ginsburg died, I was quiet. When Biden, Pelosi, and Feinstein, I wish Feinstein, Pelosi, and Feinstein a long life. Well, I'll say this. It's not about sides, because I will tell you, there are jerks on both sides. I am sure that if, for example, Joe Biden died tomorrow, which I hope he doesn't, but if he did, I'm sure there are people out there that would celebrate and want to dance on his grave. And those people are just as big a jerks as people like Will Wheaton when he did that, saying that about Donald Trump. So, and it has nothing to do with political ideology. It has to do with just being a jerk. And that's why, Alex, I've said I'm an anti-ideologist. I stand firmly opposed to the very concept of holding a political ideology at this point, because I have come to the conclusion in my life at this ripe old age that I'm at, that holding to a political ideology is in and of itself evil. So, and I see Alex is in the waiting room. All right, Alex, come on. I don't want to get too heavy into politics, but how you doing, buddy?
No worries, no worries. I'll behave.
Oh, and I just realized.
Sorry about the stuff with accidental timeout of Jason.
Oh, I know. It was unintentional.
My bad.
It happens. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like you getting.
No, I didn't even know what he said.
Yeah, in the past it has happened where somebody was a moderator, they got mad at somebody over something they said and like started deleting their comments or timing them out for just for being mad at them, and that's not okay. So I just want to make sure it was nothing like that.
Yeah, I gotta do something to my phone. It's acting weird sometimes. Just randomly presses buttons without my permission. And I don't know. I think YouTube is making it way too easy to report people, but that's no excuse.
Well, I think that well, the problem isn't that YouTube makes it easy to report people. I think the problem is that YouTube makes it, honestly, the copyright system is too easy to abuse.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, because the guy from that studio, they themselves were using...
Right, they're sitting there claiming claiming ownership over something they can't possibly own, and that kind of thing shouldn't be possible. But
yeah, I don't want to make another Soviet Russia reference, but yeah, that would never happen where the rule of law is not followed.
And Mike Rich said, my wife is on the kidney transplant list, and I'm worried about her survival. Oh, that sucks, Mike. I'm sorry. And so, thoughts and prayers out to your wife. I hope that you find a suitable donor very soon. I don't know anything about transplants as far as what the odds are of finding a suitable donor and all that. I'm assuming that if she doesn't find if a donor is not doable, isn't she able to do like dialysis or anything like that? And so now, of course, I got to wait for him to answer. That's the frustrating part.
Yeah, my heart definitely goes out. You know, try always my best to complain about this whole thing. But each his own. If talking to you helps them, I mean,
health issues can be a mess, and I know it's just very difficult. So, yeah, dialysis is rough. I don't know what it's like. I've had I had what's called a man, my throat is dry. I've been talking all day, so forgive me. My throat is very, very irritated. But I had what's called a kidney infarction a few years back. Which is basically a partial kidney failure, but not to the point where, I don't have to be on dialysis or anything like that. And so I'm consider myself lucky in that regard. However, I know that, it's one of those things where it's, even now, like dealing with my situation, it's weird when you start looking at life, and instead of thinking about, the fun things I want to do, and you just start looking at, okay, can I stay alive? That's, you start looking at life a little differently.
Yeah, I mean, I can always recommend Marcus Aurelius or Plato to read to kind of calm the soul and focus on what's important, but the Bible is good enough. That's definitely a good place. Especially the book of Job, that things just sometimes happen, and
right.
There's no real reason for it.
Hey, Indy, how you do? Oh, man, that's just...
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to press.
Yeah, someone just trying to be,
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry because these people don't have anything else to do with their precious free time, I mean...
Yeah, so obviously that was not actually Indy Tiger, or if it was, Indy Tiger, shame on you. So,
But I don't get it. Like, you're not taking any kind of positions. What's the point of trolling you? I can understand trolling a politician.
Well, and Harry, thank you so much. So I appreciate it.
$2. All right.
And yeah, I appreciate that. And Jordan, I'm sorry, but you know what? I can't like let you on there unless I see who you actually are.
Controls the space, controls the universe.
So, and yeah, I know that wasn't you, Indy. I apologize, buddy. And hey, Jordan, wasn't trying to be a jerk there, but I just want to make sure that I'm not like, don't want to see some naked guy jumping up on my screen.
Yeah.
And Herb, if you could identify yourself in the chat so I can see who you are, because I don't know you by name there.
Me?
No, there's a Herb in the backstage there. I don't know who he is, so I'm just waiting to see if he wants to put himself in the chat. Tell me who he is in the YouTube chat. So how you doing, Jordan?
Doing good. Everything's cleaned up. Basement's dry. Nobody needed extra help cleaning up, so.
Now, what part of the country are you in?
I'm in southwest Minnesota.
Okay.
South Dakota got hit worse than we did. So.
Well, you're still in Minnesota, so I'm sorry to hear it.
What?
I'm sorry to hear that you're in Minnesota, Jordan.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, but I'm almost to Iowa, so I'm good enough.
Yeah, stay out of Minnesota.
Yeah, if the ballot goes the way I want it to go next year, we'll be part of South Dakota. We got it on the ballot to join South Dakota for like our counties.
Yeah, I like Rapid City. I've never been to Sturgis, but I've seen so many good videos from there. Yeah, but I'm not a bike rider.
Well, you don't have to ride bikes
Jordan,
to go out to Sturgis.
Yeah, I know.
What was that?
But it's not the full experience. I think there's like some background noise. Is that from you or from?
Oh,
it might be from the game I'm playing. Well, I don't know if that's coming through on there. Probably not.
Did that fix it?
Mute.
I muted it, and did it help?
Not really, but I can still hear you more or less. So. That's all that matters, right?
Could be the game.
Well, I don't think the game audio should be coming through on the chat for you guys. I know they can hear it on the stream, but I don't think you guys
It
should.
sounds like someone has a fan on. Sounds like a fan to me.
And I see, Treston says, I had a kidney transplant back in '98. My aunt gave me one of her kidneys. Very thankful for her. It's a hard one to go through. Yeah, I can't even imagine. It sounds like that would be, I mean, I've been through my share of surgeries, and I'm sure that is a rough one as far as surgeries to recover from, because that's one of those you got to hope that your body doesn't reject it. And yeah, just what the heck? It's like running into that tree. And then Steven said, oh, and then it looks like we lost Alex. I think he's had some internet problems. Steven says, hi, how you doing? I'm the guy who talked to you the other week who's having trouble typing. What's the steps for joining the video chat? Well, the link is pinned at the very top of this chat. But I will caution you, Steve, right now, if I don't know you, and since you're brand new to the channel, I wouldn't recommend it, because we've already had one person try to pull some shenanigans here, possibly two, because the other person, I'm not sure, they didn't really identify themselves. But yeah, we already had one person, basically come on and, for whatever reason, show some brief porn just for fun. I don't know if it was actually them or if it was just some video file they captured somewhere.
Yeah. It wasn't even good porn, so.
Yeah, well, of course not. I'm not going to show something good but yeah. But that's, yeah. And sister, I don't even know how to say your name properly. Sisters is in the house. What's the topic of discussion? I don't know. You guys haven't told me yet. What, man? What's irritating my throat? That could be a good topic, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
In the planet view mode, you can hold down the middle
Yeah,
mouse
you don't
button,
have to
drag,
tell me about the planet
rotate the
view
angle
mode.
of view, and
Stupid
hold down the
computer.
right mouse button. Drag to roll the
Oh,
angle
man.
of view. Press N key to point to the front to the north.
Long Ace. Sir Stas. I'm never going to remember it. And CD says, did you have a good lunch? I did. I had leftovers, which were delicious because they were good yesterday. And, you know, leftovers the second day are twice as nice.
Well, it depends on what it is. Some food is better the second day than the first day there. I know when I was working out at the local restaurant here, we used to have prime rib on Saturday nights, and then if there was leftovers, like too much leftovers from Saturday night, they'd keep it in the slow cooker there overnight and slowly cook them. Oh man, they're so delicious on Sunday.
So, Sir Stas, is that you in the back room there trying to join, or is that our imposter again? Because I don't see a icon on that person, so, and the same was true before. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the same person. Yeah, it was the same naked dude. He turned on his camera before he dropped off.
Well, can't you block him?
No, because the problem is what he's doing is he's logging into StreamYard with a different username. He basically created a username being Sir Stas. So all I see is a blank, because you know how if you don't have, like if you look at mine, you see my icon.
Yeah. I still gotta make one.
Right. That's why I'm asking people to identify themselves in the chat and to make sure that they are who they say they are, because Mr. Naked is for whatever reason getting his jollies.
Well, you gotta get your kick somehow, I guess.
Yeah, but that's kind of a weird way to do it. I mean, and Mr. Naked, if you're still watching, get help, man. I mean, I'm not saying that as a joke. Seriously, get psychiatric help. Because you need it. You seriously need it. And, you should also seriously consider getting a penis enlargement. But what you really need is psychiatric help. And so, yeah. I mean, I don't understand why you feel the compulsion to do that kind of thing, but yeah, just... All right, so where were we? CD says, I have a load of relatives visiting today, so we have pizza for dinner. Well, pizza's a good gathering of people food, although, these days, it's like, and now we have Herbert the Pervert. Yeah, I'm going to bring on someone named Herbert the Pervert.
I got to back out for a second because my headphones are dying here, so I'll be right back.
All right, Jordan. See, this is why I don't get it. Why is it that Bird of Prey does frickin' open lines and gets, wonderful people like Yosef and but no, what do I get? Mr. Naked and Herbert the Pervert. For real? Is that's what you guys... I mean, I understand. Are the loony bins just closed today? Fair enough. Any suggestions? Is there a way to allow only voice and block video? Well, what I could do, and and I've done it before, and I may start doing it. Like the next time I do open lines, is I can switch between, like, for example, if I go to this screen, right? So I can go to this screen, and now, like, so there's Jordan and Alex, so they're back up. Say hi, Jordan and Alex.
Hello. I had personal hotspots on my phone, and I was just checking whether my date was still on for tonight, and it somehow killed the internet connection.
No worries,
so.
no worries. But you see, now
I don't know what's up with technology these days. I love it when it works right.
But right now, like, you guys, they can't see you. They can only see me. So I can switch between that and this view. But this view, I think, looks better.
That's fine, because my shirt will probably get you demonetized. So.
All I see is you're wearing a red shirt, so it doesn't.
Well, I mean, it has a former president's name on it.
Well, that doesn't matter, as long as you know. And
they won't.
All right, it just says Trump. That's it.
They won't ban you for that because it doesn't have his voice.
Yeah.
Besides,
we already had a dude freaking flash his tiny little microscopic penis on the screen, so it's not like, you know.
Yeah, if you're gonna troll, you gotta do it in style, not crude like that.
So Valor says, because you were once part of the fandom menace and now you become a target because you spoke out against people like Doomcock. Remember when people tried to shut down your streams? Oh yeah. I seem to become a popular target again, though. I mean, I don't know why that, I've suddenly become a popular target again.
Well, like I mentioned, that the fandom menace is like the Protestant Reformation. I mean, it's like a religious, quasi-religious kind of attitude they got, and if they see you as a heretic, you're a heretic, right?
Well, you see, I don't see it like the Protestant Reformation, though. But
I know, I think it's overblown. Of course. Because there's never going to be a Protestant Star Wars. That's not how copyright works.
Slide the mouse wheel to enter the star map mode.
Man.
Although I wouldn't mind the Protestants redoing the prequels and sequels. Why not at this point? And Return of the Jedi.
See, this is just way too far away here. And CD's wearing a Metallica shirt right now. It says, Ride the Lightning.
Satanic.
So, what is Metallica supposed to be satanic? I don't know. I can't keep track.
I'm being sarcastic. I know it's hard to tell with my accent sometimes.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't know who. I never listened to Metallica, so.
Here we are now. Entertain us. Recognize that song? You probably heard it.
No.
That
I'm more of a.
That was Nirvana, not Metallica.
Oh, I'm even worse. My bad. I thought it was Smells Like Teen Spirit, but
yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit is Nirvana.
Ah, yeah. That shows how up I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck in the 80s and 70s rock, I guess.
There we go. There's one that's a little closer.
Yeah, and I'm stuck on the 70s country for that. On the countryside.
Yeah, I kind of got lucky out here in the Savannah. We had like all these cover bands play tributes to like AC/DC and Def Leppard this summer. I had so much fun.
Oh, however you say your name. Yes, I know Metallica was 80s, but I just wasn't into them, so I don't know. Like, I'm sure I know some of their songs, I just don't know them by name.
Yeah, same as me when I went to high school. Everyone was saying, like, do you know about Metallica, about Korn, about Green Day? I'm like, nah, I don't know. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. I don't know how like Korn got so famous. Was like, how can you listen to music when you can't even understand the words?
Well, the Freak on a Leash song, I guess. Yeah, I remember that. And it had like the Matrix style video of something of a bullet flying around or something.
Yeah, because I tried listening to Korn and I couldn't understand them, so I quit listening to them.
My aunt gave me one of her kidneys right there. Where's some other audio coming from? Sounds like someone else talking. It sounds like it's me. I've been through. I'm hearing myself coming from one of you guys. That is a rough one.
I'll keep the YouTube going on mute so I can see who is chatting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Make sure you mute the YouTube so that we're not listening to me.
Because I'm way behind on whoever's. I still have Steven. Well, I like you doing this in memory of Rush Limbaugh Open Line Friday, even though it's Sunday, but it is what it is. But
all right, so
regarding like DC characters playing in Star Trek movies, yeah, I think everything's been mentioned pretty well, I suppose. I agree with you about Patrick Stewart playing Mr. Freeze. I think definitely Arnie was miscast.
Well, yeah, Arnie in his prime was, I could see bring him in, but I could, Mr. Freeze was definitely all wrong, because Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I would not have thought about Mr. Bane without you. I'm like, wow, that's genius.
Right. Like, you'd be changing his nationality, but they already changed Bane's nationality when they made him, when they cast Tom Hardy.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Right. And so I could see Bane being, Austrian. That would be fine. Nobody would care.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger played a Russian cop, so
yeah,
in the right feet. So why not? But yeah, he was so miscast. I think he did the best he could, but it didn't work out.
I think Arnie did the best he could possibly do with but he just wasn't meant to play that part.
No. I mean, I still enjoyed Batman and Robin, but it was definitely the weakest of all the movies. It's so corny. It's like what I mentioned about Star Wars. Batman and Robin broke suspension of disbelief. I know I'm watching Arnie pretend to be Mr. Freeze. I'm not wondering how is Batman going to get out of this, I did with Star Wars.
Sir Stas, I will tell you, the funny thing about Arnie and his acting ability is that if you ask Arnie what he thinks of his acting ability, he is the first person to tell you he can't act.
He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he was like he was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and Johnny Carson said, "What's the secret of your success?" Because all of his movies, this was in the mid '80s, all of his movies were huge hits, and he said, "Well, certainly not because I can act," which got a great laugh, but he explained it's just because he surrounds himself with great people. He knows.
I gotta love people who are humble like that, who can make fun of themselves.
Yeah, but he knows. He gets it. He's not a thespian. Right?
No, not even close. I guess he's kind of like James Doohan. Just glad to be there. Except in better shape, obviously. I mean, I read his fitness book. It had a lot of good advice.
No, I never read it. So.
Well, it's like an encyclopedia, but the main idea is when you exercise, focus on one muscle group. So have like a bicep day, back day, leg day. Don't try to do everything at once. Give your muscles a break. So
Oh, I
I
seen
found
that.
it very effective.
Oh, I keep seeing pictures of people posting. Go, oh, this person forgot to do leg day. Their whole upper body is built, but then they forget to do leg day.
Yeah, I know people like that, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, this is pretty cool. I found this at secondhand store when I went out to Sioux Falls a couple weeks ago. It's the 30th anniversary. It's like encyclopedia thing for Star Trek.
Yeah, I
that's
got the captain's logs in my room myself. So I reread it every once in a while, find new stuff.
Then I got like a Star Trek encyclopedia here for the future, and it tells like every planet, every character, and everything else. I thought it's pretty cool.
Jordan, have you read Inside Star Trek by Herb Solow and Bob Justman?
What book is it?
Inside Star Trek by Solow and Justman.
Oh, let's see if I got it here. I got a whole bookcase dedicated to Star Trek.
Nice. Well, in the book that I mentioned, Justman describes, before season 3 begins, Shatner and Nimoy confront Gene Roddenberry in his office, and they're like, "Who's the main star?" And Gene Roddenberry doesn't want to answer. He takes out a cigar. He smoked the whole cigar while making them wait. And then he finally says, "Bill is the star."
Hey,
because I know Leonard was out selling him with merchandise.
So, Stephen, I want to address something Stephen mentioned in the chat here, is that on a different subject, I wish Lower Decks was about enlisted personnel instead of officers. The producers missed a huge opportunity to show the enlisted side of Starfleet. The problem is that they've kind of, and this is no one show's thing, but except for the original series, enlisted personnel seem to be an extraordinarily rare thing. So, like, on the original series, if you notice, most of the people in jumpsuits, which was actually the bulk of the crew, those were the enlisted guys, but they were generally all just referred to as chiefs. But then when we got to the next generation, if you look around, pretty much everybody's an officer. There's
some kind of writer.
Huh? What was that?
I think it was mentioned that it was some kind of writer's error. One writer made an error, and everyone just kept copying them.
Right. So like O'Brien is like the only enlisted man in Starfleet. Which is stupid, but that's kind of what they ended up with.
It kind of reflects Hollywood snobbishness that everyone's got to be a big deal. There's no one I don't know, wiping out the Jeffries tubes.
Right. And
so what's the difference between a yeoman and an ensign?
Well, you're there. That would be like me saying, what's the difference between a lieutenant and a janitor? It's not. You're asking the difference between a job and a rank. They're two.
Also, a yeoman was a job?
Yeah, yeoman was the job. Ensign is their rank. And so a yeoman can be an ensign or a lieutenant or a commander or whatever. Yeoman was just what their duties were. Just like the first, just like the captain. It's funny because some jobs, specifically the captain, captain is a rank, but it's also a position, because the captain of a ship is the commanding officer of a ship, but the captain of a ship can literally be any rank. Like, it doesn't have to be a captain, even though in Star Trek they kind of make it to where the captain of the ship pretty much has to be a captain. That's not the case. Like, you can have an admiral, and in the United States Navy, it's not uncommon to have an admiral as the captain of a ship.
I can't speak. Go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
I was just saying, I never heard the term ensign on TOS, and haven't heard yeoman on any of the others. I just wondering if that's just a random switch or something.
Well, in TOS, Chekhov was an ensign.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, Chekhov was an ensign in TOS.
Until the movies.
Right. But yeah, in the movies he was a commander. But and hey, Professor Brainy Specs, good to see you, buddy. All right, and John DeMarco, I want to verify that is in fact you in the backstage there. So please verify in the YouTube chat that is you. Okay.
Professor says blah blah, so he wants another topic here.
Yeah, well, that's Professor Brainy Specs. Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. So you've come to...
I was an assistant professor myself, so whatever.
So, Professor Brainy Specs, you can always come up on the panel and enlighten us with some of your librarian awesomeness. But
is that John DeMarco coming on?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
The epic beard himself.
I don't know. We don't see you, so we can't prove it to you.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's not going to do what that other guy did.
John, I hope you speak this time a little bit.
I'll do my best. As for the issue about the enlisted personnel, I actually did a video about that on my channel a little while back.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes, and actually, this is another one of those things I think we can trace back to Gene's vision that we'd like to talk about.
Yes, Gene's great vision.
Yes, so I found a quote that apparently he wrote during the development of the TOS, is that in his view that every member of the crew was supposed to be like a trained astronaut, and therefore they were all considered officers.
Well, okay.
Which I think is, of course, ridiculous, but a lot of his ideas were silly, honestly.
Right. But okay, even
he
if
in the military, so
well, but you see, even if I want to accept that premise, which
hi, what's up?
Hey, Daniel. Even if I accept the premise that okay, they're all astronauts, therefore they're all officers, but then even on TOS. And in TNG really being the only time that he had any creative control, we had the occasional chief.
Yes, even on the show they didn't completely go with that, although it was majority officers.
Yeah, so I mean, it should have been 100% officers if we were going to go with this vision.
Hey, Daniels, if you ever need girl advice, I'm here for you. I'll help you out if you ever ask me.
No, this is not going to be a girls' advice No, we're not doing.
Okay, sorry. I'm the guest here.
Yeah. So, John, your videos aren't going to be like hours long, are they? Or are they just short videos?
Most of my videos are pretty short, like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll subscribe to you after the thing here. I got enough some stuff I'm subscribed to that's like an hour long.
No, John's videos
are enough time in the day to watch them.
No, John's videos are pretty good. I'll vouch for him. He doesn't waste your time like I do.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Well, it's not the waste of time. I just got plenty of. I got plenty of stuff that's over an hour long. I don't get enough time in the day to listen to them. So I got to kind of limit who I just subscribe to now.
Sure. So I have a question. So for the panel, so I'm working on my everything that the Voyager can do, right?
Yes.
I mentioned that the other day. So I'm working on the most epic video of epicness, which is to basically break down literally everything that Voyager can do. Because, somebody has got, hey, Indy, somebody has got to tell us exactly what all an Intrepid class starship is capable of doing. So I'm kind of debating on something. So far, I'm looking at things that we've actually seen the ship do. So I watched Caretaker, and I've watched Parallax, the second episode. And so in Caretaker, and I didn't even remember this, we see that the back of the ship can just kind of randomly emanate a graviton beam from no discernible location, just like the entire back of the ship just shoots this green beam of gravitons. Okay. And then of course, we have phasers. We have our tri-cobalt devices, which, okay, they just didn't want to go with photon torpedoes, so they go tri-cobalt devices. And
We know they had a limited number of photons, so they didn't want to waste them.
right.
Yeah, they had 30. They fired 53 out of 36.
So
Technobabble.
hold on. And then we have in the next episode, Parallax, the only thing we see in addition to any of this that we see Voyager do is use a subspace tractor beam. That's it. That's the only new thing. Now, they do have a shuttle that fires like a Detrion beam or something like that. Now, but here's...
Patron.
Yeah, but no, not Tetrion. It's something with a D. But here's my question: should I include things like when they simply break physics?
No, it's technobabble.
I mean,
Nobody cares at this point.
so for
Hey,
example,
can't forget the Borg. Can't forget the Borg modifications.
well, that's
in
not
with,
that's not for several seasons.
Starfleet stuff.
I'm nowhere near that. But we're talking just base vanilla ship right now. But they do manage to, using this beam that the shuttle emits. They did say that Voyager is capable of emitting this beam, but they just didn't have the range to hit their target, so that's why they sent the shuttle, and the shuttle can do it on its own. But this beam is able to widen a hole in an event horizon.
You're taking it all too seriously.
How is that breaking the laws of physics?
Do you know what an event horizon is?
Yeah,
It's
and
the edge of a black hole, ain't it?
it's not a physical thing, though.
Michael,
It's basically just
Oh,
the
is that-
things
distance.
have gone out. Things have gone out the window with physics for a long time ago.
Right, but this is like it's next level stuff. I mean, this is like the
But,
best.
what about TNGs where no one has gone before? I mean, I think that was the limit.
This would be like literally finding the end of a rainbow. But not only finding the end of a rainbow, but capturing it or breaking it. Punching.
At this point, I've headcanon Battlestar Galactica as being the real Voyager. So,
Well, Battlestar Galactica was Ronald D. Moore's idea of Voyager.
yeah, it would have been perfect if not for Colonel Ty being a Cylon, but he did a good job anyway.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Colonel Ty being a Cylon. I think that added some interesting...
No. He was way too old to be a Cylon.
Why was he too old to
older
be a
than
Cylon?
you.
Did you not pay attention to the series? They explain all that.
Yeah, they were
That's
the original
rationalization.
Cylons from the original Earth.
Those
Like me
Cylons...
trying to justify the good acting in Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean, it was they were trying to.
What do you mean
trick
they're
us
trying to
a
justify...
twist
Wait,
with the
what?
story.
Trying to justify the good acting in Star Wars. What?
That's the exact same thing Ron Moore did, was turning Colonel Ty into a Cylon. He retconned the outlines of the story because the Cylon War was like 40 years ago, and Colonel Ty was in his 50s, right?
It's
Colonel
in
Ty
the...
was the Cylon from the original Earth, and they had traveled at near light speed, so to get to the 12 colonies.
And they actually do address it directly in the show. I mean, it's not like they just pretend it didn't happen. It's not like Data in
Retcon.
Star Trek where they just kind of pretend he doesn't age, right? They, in fact, I like the fact
but it
that
still feels like
Adama says, when
They
I
need to
first
go-
met
go
you, you
post-
had hair.
I shaved it off because I got tired of.
No, that's not what he
doing
says. He talks about the fact that he aged. They address that head on. He says, yeah, we didn't know that Cylons aged.
Hogwash.
Whatever.
Yeah, but they created the second human form Cylons.
I know, but that was retcon
You just-
after the fact.
It's not. No, it wasn't a retcon after the fact. It was. Anyway. So.
I know. I was just very unhappy by that plot twist. So,
Well, if you didn't like it, that's fine. But I mean, you make it sound like, because you didn't like that Colonel Ty was a Cylon, but you seem perfectly
I guess,
okay with everybody else being Cylons.
the character of Ty was drinking himself to death, so you might as well give him a second life by being a Cylon.
Their
I can
characters
understand.
they had real emotions. They were dealing with stuff, and they didn't.
I know.
And they didn't know about their past.
I see where you're coming from. It's still underwhelming. Not as much as Voyager was underwhelming, but underwhelming.
Okay. Arabic wants to know how many children did Picard have in the Nexus? I don't know, like 30 or so? I mean, way too many. Anybody count? Oh, John DeMarco, you got a perfect memory. How many kids did Picard have in the Nexus?
Yeah, you got me on that one. I don't remember.
I thought you had like 3.
No, it was more than that. It was like 4 or
There's
5
about
at
4
least.
or 5. Some of them were his nephews and nieces, though. If I recall.
Are you sure? Did we see how many adults did we see?
Well, there were 3 adults that I recall. I think. Because one of them was Renee. For certain.
Did we see Renee?
Yeah, Renee was there. The only adults I remember were Picard and his wife. Well, and Guinan later on.
So
Well,
Renee-
they were continuing the scene from TOS that the captain is married to his ship in the end. He can have a good personal life.
Now
no matter
talk about disappointing. The fact that Captain Kirk wasn't buried in space.
Yeah.
That-
I'm disappointed in Kirk's death there.
Oh, come on. How could you possibly be disappointed in Kirk's death? He died on the bridge.
Ah, ah.
How could
No, he died under the bridge.
Well, the bridge died on him.
What was wrong with smoking that day?
Yeah, like they took like the perfect Kirk death, and then they went ahead and just wrecked it with the bridge.
You know what happened was
This is one continuity I would love to be broken.
what happened
Have
was
Kirk die proper death.
some producer was like, you know what, if you're going to bring Kirk back and you want to kill him, that's fine. But the one thing I insist is that Kirk has to die on the bridge. And they were like, no problem. We'll do that. And
I think Ron Moore was a little bit.
Yeah, that was,
you want to complain about their what they Colonel Ty being a Cylon? No, Kirk and that bridge, that's worth complaining about.
Yes,
Oh, I'm with you there, Michael.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm complaining about. And he should have been buried.
fact,
in space.
And honestly,
I think-
I mean, and Picard and his stupidity in that. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to go back to 5 minutes before, wait, what? What? How about you go to 10 forward when you first get the guy and beat the crap out of him before you can even start his plan? Why 5 minutes before he launches his missile? How does that make any sense?
I think we're lucky that William Shatner is still alive in his 90s, we have a chance to redo it.
Oh, hey, here's a great idea. Why don't you send Kirk back to the moment the Enterprise B rescued the El-Orians and you arrest Soren right then?
No drama.
Bam, problem. I know, but I'm just saying, Picard was an idiot. They had a organic time machine. They could literally go to anywhere and any time. So you just send Kirk back to his own time and say, okay, so there's this guy Soren. He's an El-Orian, one of the refugees. He looks a lot like Roddy McDowell. Go get him.
Well, that's kind of like saying, why did they go back in time to stop the Dominion War?
Yeah, and that was the other thing, Bird. You're right. Kirk should have. Well, he needed to die alone, but he didn't. He died with Picard. But then again, Picard's French, so that's about the same as dying alone. So I guess he met that qualifier.
If you looked at my link that I sent earlier,
he's not far away.
He's what?
Go ahead.
What was that, Daniels?
Oh. You sound far away. What's wrong with your microphone?
Did the audio cut out again? Did it do its stupid thing again?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Dang it. I am so tired of that. I don't know why it's doing that every now and then.
The postman threw your computer over the fence. That's why.
Yeah, that's all right. So
in the link I sent earlier, the Hollywood formula. I mean,
I'll be back in a minute.
Hollywood cares about drama. You got to tell the story correctly, and they hope we won't notice the logical plot holes in their stories. But as long as it meets the formula.
Sometimes when they're rushed, I can see why they might miss something like this, but I mean, there should be
they just hope that the smart fans are the minority. So.
Well, that's
what Discovery hopes.
TOS was written for fans. They assumed the fans were smart when they wrote the original series episode. You know,
but it didn't make a profit.
Them to be stupid. And
but it didn't make a profit.
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean,
Indy.
You know, now
it only made a profit like 10 years in syndication, I think.
Now it's written for the lowest common denominator. It seems they don't.
In all fairness,
miss everything.
Well, in all fairness, we do got people.
Say again?
Yeah. All right, and in all fairness, we do got people eating Tide Pods, so that's maybe why they're writing for that group.
Well, that's actually true. That's what they have to do. That they're writing for idiots.
Well, here's to hoping that Nashville will be the Hollywood for smart people. I'll help if I get the chance.
If Nashville's the Hollywood for smart people, we are all doomed.
Hey, we got nothing to lose. That's what a former president told me.
Yeah, well, I have plenty to lose.
The system's broken.
Yeah, the system's broken, but that doesn't... Look, yeah, trust me, if the people of Tennessee are our last hope, we're doomed. That's all I'm saying. I've been in Tennessee long enough to know the answer to that, is that if the people of Tennessee are our last hope, you know, you might as well. That would be
I
like...
hear you. I'm not impressed with
it'd be, help me, Obi-Wan, you're on... The end. That would be the movie right there. Death Star blows up.
Well, I mean, trying to change Hollywood is even harder than starting over it, I think.
Yeah, but you know what? There's not going to be enough. First of all, and I think that people I think people are wrong to think that they should make a conservative Hollywood. That's not going to fix anything. And it's just like, hey, did Christian movie studios fix anything? No, they just make crappy Christian movies. And that hasn't changed Hollywood, and it hasn't made it so, yeah, sure, you have your far right Christians that go watch these crappy Christian movies and think that they're good, so you can go to Pure Flix and watch the Left Behind movies all day long, and if that's what you want to do, great, but they still suck. I'm sorry, and I'm a Christian, and I know that they suck. Right? I don't want to watch movies that suck. I don't want to watch TV shows that suck. And you know what? No matter how much you make a conservative version of Hollywood, that's still not going to fix Star Trek.
Just gotta make good movies that the majority will prefer over.
You see, but you're wrong. You are wrong. Your premise is wrong. The majority isn't anything. You think that the majority believe what you believe. You're wrong. There is no...
look at Phantom
Menace. The Phantom Menace isn't the majority. The Phantom Menace is a loudmouth minority. That's all they are. They're a fringe group. That's it.
Maybe a plurality, like 30%.
I don't think they're even 30. The Phantom Menace? Come on.
Well, look at their numbers. I mean.
Yeah, and look at the box office.
Yeah, you tell them any tracker.
No, look, you got to be real about this. I agree with the Phantom Menace on some of this stuff, but you got to be real about it. Just because you get mad at this stuff doesn't mean that everybody agrees with you. Just because if you don't like it doesn't mean everybody doesn't like it. Because there's a loud group of people and they call themselves the Phantom Menace, but guess what? There are millions of people that are watching Star Trek Discovery. And so you may not want to acknowledge that fact, but it's true. And
well, I still haven't seen the numbers.
Of course not. They're never going to show you the numbers. And you know who else doesn't show you numbers?
You mentioned it.
Yeah, Netflix isn't going to show you numbers. And Disney Plus isn't going to show you numbers. And Hulu's nobody's going to show you numbers. Because that's a corporate secret. They don't want to show you numbers. And sorry, Kanye, I ain't letting you on the show. Goodbye. There's a guy in the backstage actually called Kanye West. I'm sure it's Mr. Naked again. So don't even try.
Well, I still have this theory that Discovery is actually a lost leader. Viacom is trying to show.
Yeah, but you know what? Just saying that,
like Target.
You know what?
Target is trying to.
That's just denial. That's all you're doing. Is you're like, oh no, they're failing. They're failing. And all that crap. You know what? The worst thing you can do, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about politics or any other kind of thing. The worst thing you can do is underestimate your opponent. And to simply say, oh, there's only 15 people watching that crap and nobody cares. And it's all about what we believe. And that's what really all the fans are. As soon as you start saying that,
I know who we're up against.
No, you don't, because you just said no. You really
we're copying their tactic.
Alex, you don't. Alex, you don't, because you just said that you think that Discovery is a lost leader. And how many times do we hear from the Phantom Menace what a disaster, their inside sources say what a disaster Discovery is in the ratings. And yet Discovery keeps getting season after season and huge budget after huge budget. And even after Viacom takes over, not only do they get more seasons, but there's a new 5-year deal for Kurtzman and his companies. So obviously it's not a disaster. If it was a disaster, they wouldn't be renewing the show over and over and over. Because you know what? Viacom doesn't want to piss away money.
How do you know they don't want to piss away
money? How do I know? Because they're a corporation. And corporations don't... Yes, it does matter. The entire purpose. I know you. Look, you call yourself a capitalist. The entire purpose of a corporation is to make money. That is why they exist. That is the only reason they exist. to make
Never run
money.
nonprofits.
And they are making money.
Just enough to sustain themselves.
Anyway, Steven says, I know you didn't mean to
let's-
spoil a series for anyone, but for future reference, please warn people before talking about spoilers from shows other than Star Trek. I'm on season 3 of Battlestar Galactica. Oh, I'm sorry, Steven. I did not know that. Arabic says, shields. Says, the Phantom Menace are SJWs, the Phantom Menace, and most damaging to the franchise than Kathleen Kennedy, JJ, RJ, etc. Well, I don't think... You see, here's the thing. I agree with the Phantom Menace on a lot of stuff. I really do. I don't like some of the crap that's been going on in these shows. And by the way, Bird, if that's really you, please verify in the chat because of the shenanigans that's been going on here. And
Well, Salty, there's an old saying if you have it, you flaunt it, but apparently that guy didn't get the memo that he doesn't have it.
I guess not, yeah. All right. Hey, how you doing, Bird?
Hello, world. It's Bird over 5. Couple off.
So, Bird.
Wait, that doesn't sound like Bird. That might sound like that one guy.
In YouTube than you do in the StreamYard. Maybe you knew
Oh,
that.
hi, Bird. What's up?
Okay, I don't know.
Hey.
Well, I reset the microphone, but I don't know.
Yeah, but if you listen in YouTube, you sound perfect. If you listen in StreamYard, it is like an older or different microphone.
Oh, I bet we checked the settings in StreamYard. It's probably set on the old mic.
How you doing tonight,
see.
Bird?
Good. No, I just wanted to touch on Discovery not being a disaster.
All right, so does that sound better for StreamYard?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You see, I like what Anti-Tracker said, man. I like that.
Well,
Yeah, see, that's true, man.
He can say it, but if Discovery wasn't a disaster, why would Netflix wash their hands of it? Why would Netflix?
Because they don't want to help
we
their
don't
competition.
What?
They don't want to help CBS.
What do you? They put money down for Discovery, and then they didn't want it anymore.
You know what?
And not only did
Why
they not
did they
want it anymore, they didn't want Picard when offered.
And they didn't.
They
You know
were
what?
like, F this.
Bird,
They were like,
they also did the same thing to Disney with all the Netflix shows, and so which was a stupid move on their part because they were all successful, except that Netflix makes more money than any other company in the United States today, and so they can do that kind of thing without having to worry about it. And so what they can do is purposely harm their competition. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think that's why and we lost somebody. I'm not sure who. I think, but I think that that Netflix is very much interested in screwing over their
if
their
Discovery
competition.
was making money, Netflix would have been happy to keep it, happy to keep any future Star Trek projects. And they would have been, the only makes sense is that Discovery wasn't getting the ratings that they expected. And that would be consistent with the fact that when we see the broadcast ratings for Discovery, they are literally the worst TV show CBS aired in the ratings. Even repeats of old episodes generally did better than episodes of Discovery on CBS broadcast television.
I'm not saying that the broadcast number, about, you know what? I don't think that CBS is losing money.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Menace
losing
made
money, but the
money.
thing is, it's a streaming service.
Right.
It's
And
hard to say that they're losing money on one thing or another.
No, they absolutely know because they know exactly what people are watching. They track those numbers it's just like with the YouTube out, the nice thing about YouTube, and I hate to say this, but there is a nice thing about YouTube. Every video has its little counter. We know exactly how many people have watched it, right? So we can see, 300 people have watched it.
People look in on it. God knows whether they watched it for 2 minutes or
right. But you get the idea. You have a rating system. It's very easy to see that 500 people have looked at this video and 200 people looked at this video, and you can kind of track what's doing well and what's not doing well. right? And
Well,
you can see that directly.
Let's take the best case scenario that it is making money, like the Star Wars prequels made money, but that doesn't speak anything about their quality.
You're the one that said making money does speak to the quality. You're the one that argued that that's the exact opposite of the truth. You need to shut up because you are no. You do not get to say that because you argued to death that the fact that people watched it and the fact that it made money is an argument that it's good. Now you're trying to argue that it's not. So make up your mind.
That's just one of the qualities.
No. Make up your mind.
You know the ratio,
do not
right?
know. You do not get to have it both ways. All right.
Yes.
Either it is or is not a factor for the quality of something. And if it is not, then you need to shut up about the relative quality of stuff. Need to stop trying to defend Star Wars based on the millions of dollars that it's made as far as the classic trilogy. And if it is...
All right, but you can't defend the prequels having good quality based on the money they made.
I never did! That's all.
I know.
I only use it because you keep saying it's a factor. And hey, Jason.
Hello.
Well, the original Star Wars did have an amazing ratio of like 1.
So what?
That,
you know what? But you see, now you're using it again. You're
but
using it even now when
to...
you just said that it makes no difference. Make up
your mind. No one's ever come close to 1:85.
It doesn't matter.
So, Mike, I was listening in just a little bit before I joined, and here's the funny thing on the split.
Mm-hmm.
The mushy middle, whether it's political or entertainment, is about 70% of the population.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it's about 8% to the left, about 12 or so percent to the right, and 70% in the middle generally don't care. They just want to watch what they want to watch and feel entertained, and if they do, they're happy. If they don't, they change the channel. So the idea that anybody on the fringes that, like,
they say everybody believes this.
I am a huge Aliens fan.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done to the Aliens franchise doesn't matter as long as they're making money.
Right.
Because most people, they watch it once and that's it. They don't have a library of like the VHS copy, the DVD copy, the Blu-ray copy.
Right.
They're not doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
And when it comes to it, the money is the only question and answer for the businesses. They don't care.
No,
Viacom split because they thought they could make more money. They learned they couldn't. They recombined.
Right.
Sometimes you run into situations.
Well,
sometimes you run into situations where you got what's his face there, Les, that was the head of CBS, who generally didn't like much in the way of science fiction. Most people understand that that's fairly accurate description of the guy.
Right.
And he went around and he sabotaged everything that he could left and right. But outside of that, like, their bottom dollar is all that matters, because as soon as everything started going off the rails, I mean, every piece of dirt on that guy showed up, and then he was out the door, and everything starts to flip back. So it sucks, and we all get upset about our favorite franchise, but unfortunately, money.
Right.
It'd be nice if
money.
it was money, but it's not. A lot of times,
you see,
political agendas.
It's the problem here, Bird, and
Bird.
I genuinely believe this is. I think the reason
or
you say
social agendas.
I think the reason you say that is because you are part of one of the fringe groups. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I know that you fall into one of those two groups.
I don't know if by a fringe group you mean enlightened enough to see what's going on in front of my face.
I'm saying that you have strong feelings.
Yeah,
you have strong feelings
about it. The country is too stupid to realize what's.
Cheers, Bird.
So, I don't mean that as an insult to anyone.
I'm not. No. I'm not saying it as an insult.
The reality of the situation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it as an insult.
We had an argument with somebody who honestly didn't believe there was any political or social agenda to Hollywood the other day. Well, if you don't see it, I don't know what to do. Okay.
Okay, so first of all, there's definitely gonna be people out there that absolutely have an agenda, but the people that really run the levers. Not the dancing monkeys. They're whatever. Who cares? But the people that really run everything and control the money, You want a good example of how the money is all that really matters? You go and look for icons that changed on corporate Twitter feeds in any country where what's going on in the West is not the dominant view.
Mm-hmm.
They did not change.
That's not about money. That's
well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's absolutely
about money because as soon as they don't have access to that market, they've lost the money. Politics doesn't matter.
They do.
Money is everything to
they
these
do
people.
it so they can make the money. They don't do it. You